Hi, everybody. Welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared. This is the first time in a while that I've done a live stream. I'm still working on my studio situation. I'm not happy with the lighting, so I'm not going to be recording myself in this live stream, but I want to cover this breaking news. Um, I'd like to ask for everyone to say a prayer for Charlie Kirk's family and friends and everyone that's been affected by this. I can't believe that this happened, and I just need to bring it up. I'm sure that you've already seen the news by now. I'm probably not the first one to break this to you, but let's give it a few minutes for people to join the live stream. This is really crazy because, I mean, this like now makes three pretty unusual things to happen within the last day or two. And that's mostly what I want to focus on because, this is the way that I would view it in the context of my channel. I know there's a lot of other people that are covering this and all the implications, political implications and so forth. Well, this is a second coming channel, and we look at prophecy, we look at signs of the times, and I feel like there's lots and lots of signs of the times, and this could be one. I think a lot of you would agree. So let's just give it a couple minutes. I would have done this live stream earlier, but when I got word of it, I was on my way to this fundamentalist temple here in Missouri. So don't get it confused. This is not FLDS. This is, I don't know really how to describe it. It's a temple that's been built by a group of polygamists from different traditions. They've like come together from, FLDS or from the UAB and others. They don't have like a president of their church, or they're not really centralized. It's just like a small group that's here in Missouri. This is about 2 hours south of Independence. And I was able to get in contact with the person that had access to the temple grounds, and he let me come and record. And so my wife and I were driving down there when I got the text from my friend Caitlin with Anticipating Christ's Return. I also got a text from Tyler Cragen. He has a channel. He doesn't really do it anymore, but he has a channel called The Greatest Cause. And, I was in a place where there was no reception. I mean, this is out in the boonies, you guys. This is way far out there. I have a video coming out tomorrow where I show you all the entire temple grounds and everything that's around it. It's a really, really interesting video. It's going to be on my other channel called Explore Church Sites, so make sure to check that out. But let me take a look and see how many we got on here right now. 133. Okay, so let me look at the comments really quick. Borky Baby, frowny face. Love you, Jared. Everyone else too, frowny face. Love you too, Borky Baby. I'm so sorry, you guys, that I haven't done live streams. I feel like I've really dropped the ball on that, and I want to do more live streams because I want to cover more breaking news. It's part of my channel. Hitting Connection says, Helaman 6:15. And it came to pass that in the 66th year of the reign of judges, behold, Caesarum was murdered by an unknown hand as he sat upon the judgment seat. Well, I certainly think that things like this go along with, the Book of Mormon, how it's a foreshadowing of our own day in the lead up to the second coming. Just like the Nephites were waiting for the coming of Christ the first time. And one of the features in their time was political instability. So, yeah, I feel like you could draw that connection. Frizzy KK, been praying all day. Stephen Mortensen, this is my friend from Utah, from back when we lived there. Senseless and awful. The Haystack, I'd hoped one of the 15 would go and bless him and raise him up again, like what happened in the Book of Mormon before Christ came. Eric R. in Utah, out of all places. Well, yeah, and that's actually That's actually the main reason why I'm doing a video about it. Because it happened in Utah. It happened in Utah. It makes me think. Let's look this up. Let's see. CNN. It happened in Utah of all places. Tornado. So this was back last year. There was this big tornado outbreak across the country. And it started in Utah. And that's how the CNN article reads. It started in Utah, of all places. And as we're thinking about this event, and I'm no political expert, I have no idea what the fallout's going to be from this, but as we think about this event taking place in Utah, of all places, and the day after President Nelson's birthday, I'm sorry, but I have to think that something is going on. I just did a video. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was my video from earlier today, this morning. But we've now had 3 different things take place. 2 things on his birthday, and then this one the day after. So yesterday, Israel bombed or did like a precision strike, I guess, in Qatar, of all places. This is the first time that's ever happened. That made me raise my eyebrows. To me, from my point of view, that's a new escalation in this conflict that started on October 7th. And then we have an update with Poland. There was this thing where you had what seemed to be drones from Russia coming into Poland. And this kind of thing has happened before, according to X. If you watch that video, I asked Grok if this was unusual. There have been like incursions into Polish airspace by drones and aircraft and stuff like that. But we have this from Reuters. It says Poland downs drones in its airspace, becoming first NATO member to fire during war in Ukraine. So, you guys, I don't know. We have these 3 unprecedented, this never happened before, events. Some people just wave it off and they're like, oh yeah, well, these things don't happen all the time. When's the last time you've had something like this happen in Utah on or immediately after a president of the church's birthday, where the president of the church turns 101, and that president church is all about the second coming? And these are all signs of, for one thing, the thing with Israel and the thing with Poland, you could chalk this up as wars and rumors of wars. And then with this, let's see, what was the name again? Hidden Connection pointed out earlier. This is a sign of instability, involving politics. In this case, we're not talking about a politician, but he's a person that, he's in the political world and he's had a loud voice. Now, I'm not really one for politics per se. I don't really cover this stuff. It'd probably be more surreal to me if I was like a big fan of his. I know that I've seen his face before. I know that, but I didn't recognize the name. When Caitlin texted that, I didn't recognize the name. But I'm sure that people that have followed him for a while are probably just really in shock right now. It's crazy. And this is after what happened last year with Trump. And I remember that clearly because that was in July. Anyway, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but that was really crazy, and that could have ended in disaster. Okay, so let's get back to the chat. Borky Baby, Helaman 3rd Nephi, Moroni said it best. Wake up to your awful situation. Steve Mortensen, he's replying to somebody else. Excuse me. Eric R. There was a shooting in Colorado too. Emmanuel Cibrian, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Contention is a choice. Peacemaking is a choice. You have your agency to choose contention or reconciliation. I urge you to choose to be a peacemaker now and always. Russell M. Nelson. Yeah. And that's kind of interesting too, because President Nelson with his didn't he, okay, let me double check. Didn't he did he say that here in this post? I know that he said it recently, but he definitely said it in that talk called Peacemakers Needed. Well, whatever the case, yeah, you have that big contrast. Yesterday, we were focusing on President Nelson as, he keeps pushing this record further and further by turning 101. And he has really stressed the need to be true disciples of Jesus Christ, to be peacemakers, to avoid contention, because that's how we become a Zion people of one heart, of one in heart, one in mind. And you can't be one in heart, one in mind if your heart and mind is fighting against itself. So, yeah. Let's see. I didn't really look through this. So this happened at Utah Valley University. So that's there in Utah Valley, where you have Provo, American Fork, Saratoga Springs, and all that. Okay, I'm going to skip down a little bit and try and keep up with the chat. Plaid says, I think so many people seeing this happen, it makes what happened to Joseph Smith and Hiram Smith so much more real. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah. Megan Jensen, my 13-year-old son was in line waiting to ask a question. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Stephen Mortensen, I cannot imagine what you're going through and your son. How do you even begin to have that conversation? Yeah, and I was watching some of the videos. There was a bunch of videos on X, of course. I would not recommend watching those videos. If you were there in person, that must have been horrible. Preparing our hearts. This feels so heavy and big, like a tipping point. Yeah, it does. I just, only time will tell what happens, with the fallout from these different events. Charlie Kirk, Israel and Qatar, and Poland. I feel like most of the time when you have big events like this that could bring further consequences, most of the time I feel like things kind of get back to normal and they fizzle out, but sometimes they don't. So we have these three things. What's going to happen next? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. Megan Jensen. Yeah, he was there to see one of his heroes in person. Instead, he watched him die. Frowny face. Preparing our hearts. President Nelson's Peacemakers talk has been on my mind. Sinlao. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sinlao or Sinlu. So many of us that feel like this is a tipping point. Sam Hendrickson, Hinge Point. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I don't know. Oh, there's Tyler Cregan, The Greatest Cause. What happened was absolutely devastating. I'm angry that the shooter hasn't been apprehended yet. I'm on the edge here in Orem. Yeah, that's not too far from... I actually don't know where Utah Valley University is exactly. I've never been a Utah Valley person. Let's see. Utah Valley University. Oh, public university in Orem, Utah. Yeah, okay. I mentioned you earlier, Tyler. By the way, subscribe. Even though he's not really doing content now, he may in the future. Plans can change. So subscribe to The Greatest Cause. Utah Valley University. Lou Fasciaitu, Turning Point. Could be. You guys tell me, because some of you are more, political. You follow these things more. Was Charlie Kirk like really, really big? Is this like a bigger deal than what I realize? Please help me understand. Serena Mitten with a heartbroken emoji. The Colossus of Clout. I find it really eerie that his company was called Turning Point USA. We're almost in the 250th year of the USA's existence. Things are going to be different from this point on. Yeah, that's an excellent observation. Um, I didn't know until I started this live stream that he died. When I was first looking at it as we were going to the Fundamentalist temple, um, things were still like developing. I thought I saw a video of somebody getting apprehended, but I guess that wasn't the guy. So that's the thing with a lot of these breaking news stories, is that there's this kind of like fog of war in the beginning where things are coming out, people are misreporting things or misunderstanding what they're seeing, and so you have to be careful and just kind of like let the story develop. But by the way, if you're just joining me, I'm going to have this video up tomorrow on Explore Church Sites. I got special permission to come over here and record this fundamentalist polygamist temple. It's not FLDS. It's this collection of polygamous sects that are not part of a denomination, but they are united enough to build a temple, which was dedicated in October of last year. So this is a really interesting video, so make sure to check that out tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Andy says, I work for UVU. And this, crying emoji. The Colossus of Clout, he was massive. Stephen Mortensen, he is huge in the young conservative movement. Borky Baby, Charlie was number 2 in popularity for the conservative side, next to Donald. K&EG gives a heart emoji. Let's see, I'm going to try and catch up. Ender Law says, let's hope it's not a Franz Ferdinand moment. Yeah, I have no way to gauge what this could turn into. If I were to guess, just based on other dramatic events that I've seen in my lifetime, I feel like things are going to, there's going to be contention and stuff, but over time it's going to fizzle out. I doubt that it's going to turn into anything big, but it could. Maybe it is a Franz Ferdinand moment. I don't know. Serena Mitten, Charlie Kirk is wonderful. I love his stance on his Christianity. Sorry. And he can debate like no tomorrow. Charlie Kirk's departure broke my heart. Some LDS channels have shown his debates. He's awesome. Megan Jensen, this feels like a MLK moment. Let's see. Diana Anderson, he's quite the political pundit, conservative yet logical and respectful, focusing on the college-age voting public. Amy Luria, yes, he was very big, but he preached the proclamation to the family and didn't even realize. A huge Christian. Man, some of these names like Amy Luria, I haven't seen you guys in a long time, like in this way. I miss doing live streams. Gosh, let me know if you've missed me doing live streams. I don't know. I can't really tell. I just got in this weird groove this year. It feels like everything was kind of disrupted by moving to independence, but I want to try and get back to how things were and just be a little bit more active. Well, part of it is going to all these church sites. It's been absolutely amazing. You guys, there's so much to see here. Sorry. I don't mean to be all over the place, but I'm trying to explain why I've been kind of absent from live streams lately. This is not an exaggeration. I've seriously, almost every single day, been going to a new church site. There are that many church sites. And there's more than what you realize here. And it has been so fulfilling. And I'm just having such a good time. I love living here in Missouri. So yeah, let's just look at this one more time. So in case you're joining now, uh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued that you have these three unprecedented events that have taken place on President Nelson's birthday, and then, well, with two of them, and then this one with Charlie Kirk happening the day after. And it intrigues me because, again, if we go back to my timeline that I haven't worked on enough, for for 2023 and 20, let's see, where is it? Right there. Back in 2023, when President Nelson turned 99, the day before you had one. Okay, so you had the number two and number three most deadly events that took place in 2023, like as far as natural disasters go. One of them took place the day before his birthday. It was an earthquake in Morocco. It's this one right here. Let me zoom in. This one right here. And then the day of his birthday, there was this really deadly event in Libya. It was Storm Daniel in the Mediterranean. And it wasn't just Libya that was affected, but they were the ones that got hit the hardest. And you had this take place. You know, Storm Daniel. Daniel was a prophet, a really important one. As far as I know, the book of Daniel in our the standard works, that's the first time that we get any sense of the meeting of Adam-ondi-Ahman, because he talks about it there. He talks about the Ancient of Days, Michael, meeting with Christ and the kingdom, you know, during the millennium. And if we go back to 2022, let's see, right here, the day before his birthday, and this was the birthday where he broke the record for being the oldest living prophet or apostle of this dispensation by turning 98. The day before, that's when Queen Elizabeth died, the longest reigning British monarch. And then the day after, you had this earthquake, 7.6. It was the largest of that year. It actually tied with another earthquake 9 days later in Mexico. But I don't know. You know, people say, oh, you look into it too closely. Yeah, maybe. But it's just interesting timing, don't you think? Again, with a prophet that's so focused on the second coming, we're seeing these signs of the times on and around his birthday. Like, seriously. Okay, let's go to Texas artist Stacy Mayer, another hinge point, Jared. Yeah, it would seem. Sarah Jane Bingham. This is a moment we will look back on and say it started with Charlie Kirk. Whatever it will be, good or bad. Yeah, it could be. Plaid. Crazy thing is, I am essentially estranged from family members. From family member in 70s, and he texted me about the loss of Charlie. So even older guys followed him and are upset. Oh wow, estranged from that family member in the 70s, and they texted you about this event. Yeah. Royce Griffiths. Honestly, I'm angry. These people are lost. They are numb to the spirit and anything good. They know nothing but violence. Yeah. The world is obviously getting worse. People are becoming cold, hard-hearted, more radicalized, I would say, especially when it comes to politics. It's not good. Let's see. Hold on. Somebody sent me a text, and it might be something I want to share. Okay, so this is from my friend Mindy with Temples of Jesus channel. By the way, she's going to be putting out new content probably soon. Just summer, she was really busy. But Mindy with Temples of Jesus, she sent a text. Daily Joy, which is a book by President Nelson, and it's one of those ones where like there's like a page for each day of the year. So this is his thing for September 10th. True under shepherds. Therefore, fear not, little flock, do good. Let earth and hell combine against you. For if you are built upon my rock, they cannot prevail. Doctrine and Covenants 634. And then it says, personal security, which is really interesting. Personal security through the travails of life cannot be guaranteed by wealth, fame, or governmental programs, but it can come from doing the will of the Lord, whose instructions are given to bring spiritual protection to his saints. His merciful commandments, with undergirding and overarching power to sustain all natural law, tenderly allow gentle hands to guard his children well. The Good Shepherd lovingly cares for all sheep of his fold, and we are his true under shepherds. Our privilege is to bear his love and to add our own love to friends and neighbors, feeding, tending, and nurturing them, as the Savior would have us do. By so doing, we evidence one of the godly characteristics of his restored church upon the earth. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Serena Mitten, voices from the dust. Tiffany, she's awesome. Yeah, in one of my group texts, someone had said that she had done that Tiffany was there. Tiffany's one of my friends. I interviewed her one time to talk about an experience that she had when she went to the rededication of the St. George, Utah temple. But yeah, everyone make sure to check out Tiffany. Let's see. Borky Baby, curious what Jen at Christian Fire Poppy sees on What's in the Skies Tonight, weekend after the lunar eclipse. I don't know. She hasn't told me yet, but I'm sure she's probably seen something. I would be shocked if Jen didn't make a video about this. Shiny Nickel RN, one of my friends has a daughter that was there as she is a student there. It was terrifying for her as a parent. Lois Leonard, moving is just short of a root canal. I'm glad you love it so much. It sounds like it on the channel. Heart with eyes and a mouth and hands with blue gloves. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of moving anymore. But this was a good move. Moving to Independence, just, oh my gosh. So much has happened since I've moved here, both with just tracking down all these church sites as well as special events that I've been able to witness. I saw the ordination of the first female prophet president of Community of Christ, which I feel like that is a sign of things to come that could benefit our church. I was there for the dedication of the I keep doing that. Oh my gosh. The Charles C. Rich cabin, the only surviving structure from the far west period. It was dedicated just a few months ago. A new statue was unveiled. This was an apostle, Charles C. Rich. This is his cabin. Here's the inside of the cabin. I have a video on my other channel if you want to watch it. And by the way, I was it yesterday? I can't even remember. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Oh my gosh. All the days just like flow together. Yesterday, I went to the birthplace of Joseph F. Smith. When you go to the temple site over here, the Far West Temple site, there's a sign that talks about the fact that he was born just west of here. Well, I went to that place as described in the book, Sacred Places, Missouri. So I tracked that down. There's nothing to see, but you can go to where the house would have been. And then I also went, if you could just go south, there's actually a place where, with a sign, this is the location where Joseph Smith was arrested. him and Parley P. Pratt and others, they were arrested on this hill called the Eminence. And there's a sign that you can see. So independence has been amazing. Oh, Mindy's here. Temples of Jesus, 3 butterflies. Everyone make sure to subscribe to Mindy. Temples of Jesus. Mindy, are you going to be doing content soon? I think a lot of people would like to hear your thoughts and ideas and observations. It's been a while. Tyler Cragen says, I'm like a mile away from UVU. Wow, that is definitely too close to home. Let's see. Serena Mitten, Daily Joy, love Temples of Jesus channel. She called it with planetary alignments. I don't know if Mindy does planetary alignments. I think that might be Jen with Christian Fire Poppy, but I don't know. I haven't seen all of Mindy's stuff. Eric Sanchez, I just joined, so I don't know if this has been said, but I fear this will be an excuse in some minds to retaliate that might send us down a slippery slope. Yeah, that's always a possibility with these kind of things. Just only time will tell. Mindy says, probably soon, with a smiley face with 3 hearts all over it. Temple news. Like what? There's temple news today, or that's your next video? It's going to be about temple news. Oh, Serena says, sorry, Jen Fire Poppy. My bad. Temples of Jesus is amazing in all caps as well. Gail Noga, let's do our best to keep the peace. That doesn't mean we stand down, but it means we need to spread love and hope. Yeah. Well, and we also need to rein ourselves in. You may feel justified in being very angry and defending your position, your beliefs, but you got to be careful when it comes to debate and how you react to things. It's really important not to have knee-jerk reactions. You know, that's a natural man thing, and we just have to be careful with that because we don't want to add to the instability. We don't want to add to the bad situation. We need to step away from being radicalized. If too many people have allowed themselves to become radicalized and really entrenched in their politics, and we need to reach out, see where we have common ground with other people that don't agree with us, and focus on that. You know, in fact, sorry, bringing it back to this, that's one reason why I like to go to these other, these splinter groups. I like to interact with them so as to build bridges, not to condone, their doctrine or anything like that, but just to be friendly. And it's like, when you don't have contact with people, if there's like a certain class of people that's different from you and you stay away from them, whether it's race or religion or whatever, then you're left to your own devices. Like you start to formulate thoughts of what that other group is in your mind. And usually there's bias, right? And we all do it. And so it's important to have contact with other groups so that you can be grounded in reality, and maybe some of what you thought was true, but maybe other things are not true. And it was just a misunderstanding, the way that you thought about that group. So if you're able to make friends with people, stick to your beliefs. You don't just like capitulate, but you stand by your beliefs, but you're friendly with other groups, then it helps. It helps to dispel misconceptions and make it so that other groups can trust you. I feel like I've done a good job. Like all these different groups that I've talked to, I feel like they trusted me. They know that I'm not adversarial, that I'm kind, that I'm fair, that I don't just like throw them under the rug or under the bus. Or under the rug or anywhere. We got to do that as much as possible. it helps. But when we become isolated and distrustful, they do the same thing, and then you're fighting an enemy that maybe really isn't an enemy, and you're doing it based off of misunderstandings of each other. Let's see. Chris Cromar says, trying to control my anger on this one. UVU administration is trying to cover their failures on this murder. This what just happened. Charlie had addressed his concerns about UVU and their lack of action. Yeah. Well, I don't know much about that situation, but that's unfortunate if UVU could have done more to increase security or the safety of that situation. PD, Charlie Kirk was respectful to those that disagreed with him. Yeah. And sometimes that makes people even angrier because it's easy to fight somebody that's fighting back against you. You feel justified. But if that other person is being kind and respectful, it kind of reminds you that maybe you are not. And then it just makes you even angrier that they're, coming from a higher level. They're taking the high ground and you're not. So, Serena Minton, you're kind and fair. Keep on keeping on. Heart, praying hands, always. Okay. So I think I'm probably going to wrap this up here, but just one more time. The main crux of my message in this video is we've had 3 unprecedented, unusual things take place. 2 yesterday, 1 today. Yesterday, Israel did a precision strike on Qatar. They were going after some members of Hamas, but they also took out one Qatari security official. The last that I checked, I don't know if that's been updated. So we had that, a new country that has seen these strikes ever since October 7th. It's unusual. I didn't think that I would ever see that, but it happened. It happened yesterday on President Nelson's birthday. We have Poland that has downed Russian drones. This article from Reuters says that they're the first NATO member to fire during war in Ukraine. So this is a escalation. I don't know that it's going to go beyond this, but it could. At the very least, it's probably ratcheted up tensions. And then today, this whole thing with Charlie Kirk in Utah, of all places, the day after President Nelson's birthday. I don't know what to tell you. We've looked at these other years, 2022 and 2023, that also saw unusual events on or around his birthday. And when I say around, I just mean like the day before or the day after. And, one other thing that's coming to mind is last year, the day after his 40th anniversary as an apostle, which was on April 7th of last year, which was last year, it was the Sunday sessions of General Conference. The day after his 40-year anniversary, that's when you had the second great American eclipse. The path of totality went over the Kirtland Temple, which had just been purchased the month before. just sorry, I don't think it's coincidence. I don't know what it means, but I feel like it's a sign, and I feel like it's related to the times that we're in and the signs of the times. And that's the way I think about it. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for joining me. I'll try and do more live streams. I miss doing them. Once I get a second ring light, I think that that'll fix the problem with the lighting in my studio, and I'll feel more comfortable with appearing on screen because you won't have one side that's lit and then the other side that's dark, and I won't look like a weirdo. So hopefully I'll get that fixed within the next few weeks or something. But thanks for joining me.